Yo, what is good, people? It's top of the morning. Welcome to another hip hop album review. This is part 288. The album that I would like to review today is Styles P with his second album, Time Is Money, released in 2006. All right, you guys should know who Styles P is. I did a review on his first album, Gangsta the Gentleman, that was released in 2002. Love that album. You guys should know who D Block is, who the LOX, Rough Riders. You guys should know. I did a review on the first two LOX albums as well as Jadakiss first two albums as well as Sheek Luch's reviews first two albums. If you guys haven't peeped those, definitely check those out when you guys get a chance. All right, check the back catalog. All right, now get into this album right here. So I remember he was next up because Kiss of Death have dropped, which to me was kind of shaky in my opinion. Not his best, but I've seen people say that's his best album. Yeah, I'm not gonna take anything away from that from anybody. I was just highly disappointed when I heard the champ is here and was highly anticipated for the album to come out. When I got that, I was like, that was it. Like that's what I was waiting for. So, um, now with this album, um, I remember when he put out mixtapes like the Ghost Stories, Ghost in the Shell back in 2004. The album was like highly anticipated because he kept talking about this album from then, and then um, and me and my boy Mike that I used to hang out with back in the day, we used to play the fuck out those mixtapes. Like it was like dope because like it was something to hold us over until this album drops, and then because he kept mentioning time is money, time is money. So we thought the album was supposed to drop in 2005 because it originally was supposed to drop in 2005, and then he dropped a Ghost in the Machine that year, that mixtape, and guys, I highly recommend you guys check those mixtapes out. Ghost Stories, Ghost in the Machine, and Ghost in the Shell. I recommend you guys check those mixtapes out. Those are some of his best stuff that he ever put on record. I'm just being real. Like it's just Styles P in his rawest form. Besides the Gangsta and the Gentleman album, but those mixtapes for me, oh my god, I fucking love them shits. It's part of itself. Um, yeah, and then so again, um, he kept talking time is money coming out. So we thinking this it was gonna come out in 2005. No, it kept getting pushed back. Getting kept pushed back. Reason being is because my theory is, and it's obvious too, because of his beef with 50. Because you guys know that D Block and G Unit was going at odds at each other. Uh, Basically the mid 2000s, like from like 2004 to maybe like 2007 is like when they squashed the beef. Um, you know what I mean? But I think that definitely affected the release on this album. So it was supposed to come out in 2005. It kept getting pushed back, and then it came like right before Christmas of 2006. So that's when this album came out. It came out in specifically December 19th, 2006. So that's like around Christmas time. So this album kept getting pushed back, which was unfortunate. You know what I mean? But it's industry, man. 50, man. Him and Jimmy Iovine, they're buddies and shit. I think they beef for now. Like they don't fuck with each other, but like at that time, 50 was the Interscope's cash cow. You know what I mean? He was bringing in money because when he dropped the Get Rich or Die Trying, um, pretty much that contract like that he had, he with the sales, he was able to pay off that debt. Plus, he paid interest, so that made Jimmy Iovine very happy. So, you gotta respect 50. He a hustler like that, so that's fucking dope. Now, get him back to Styles P with this album. They said this came out 2006. This came out with 3 singles. The singles include Favorite Drug, uh, Can You Believe It, which there was a video for, and I'm Black. Those are the singles of the album. There was a song that was supposed to come out called All My Life with Akon, but it never made the album. It was supposed to be the last song of the album, and that would have been like a somewhat of a decent single, but it didn't make the album, so which is unfortunate. But yeah, I think that ended up being on the I want to say on the Phantom mixtape that came out that year in 2006, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I heard those mixtapes, but um, now let's get into it. So this is what you see. Styles P. He's like in Times Square. You got the when he used to rock the P, the Pittsburgh Pirates fitted like heavy. Got the blazer with the white tee, the dog tags. I remember that was a thing back then. Like these rocking the white tee, a blazer, jeans, and some uptowns, or what people would call it. Generally, would call it Air Force Ones, but in New York we call them uptowns. So yeah, that's what the album looks like. See in the back, pretty cool cover picture right there. All right, let's get the CD. All right, generic, somewhat. But if you look in the if you look closely, it has like the circuitry of the watch, so that's pretty cool. And then when you look right here, it's probably pretty much the same thing. So that's pretty cool. Time is money. It's a dope title too. All right, let's get the booklet. See right here. All right, this is chubby Styles, man. It's not skinny Styles. He lost mad weight, so salute to him for that. All right, pretty cool picture. All right, yeah, pretty dope. Got the shout outs and you got the circuitry for the watch. That was pretty cool. And then you got got a dope car right here, and then you got the the albums that were supposed to be released, or some that did get released. Let's see what albums. So we got Styles P, Time is Money, in stores now, Flash, Hard Work, that which I don't think ever came out. The D Block album coming soon, which I'm assuming was supposed to be the No Security album that came out back in 2008, 2009. That was kind of, I didn't like that. I was pretty disappointed with that. The Redemption Volume 4, which is the Rough Riders Volume 4, that came out. That was horrible. I did not like that. That to me was the beginning of the demise of Rough Riders, honestly. You got Chic Loose After Taxes. I did a review on that. Cassie, It Is What It Is. I don't remember that was this. I think that ended up being the Bars album that dropped in like 2008. AJ Smith, Self, coming soon, cartoon. When they talking about gangs, that never came out. Jadakiss, which ended up being the Last Kiss that dropped in 2008. Drag On, coming soon. My Pirate, yeah. None of those just came out. Alright. Now, let's get into the meat and potatoes like I usually do. Really get into the track listing. Oh, let me talk about the features. Duh, I'm wilding. Alright, let's get into it. Let's get into the features. The features include Talib Kweli, Gerald Levert, rest in peace to him. He ended up dying that year in 2006, so that tells me that was like one of the last songs that he did in his career. You got Swiss Beats, LOX, Rashad, Akon, Jagged Edge, Marsha from Floetry, Marsha Ambrosius from Floetry, Sizzler, Flipside, and that's pretty much it. Now let's get into the producers. Let's see. Producers include Who Banger, High Tech. Shout out to High Tech, dope producer right there. Havoc of Mobb Deep, Scott Storch, very talented producer right there. Let's see who else. Neo the Matrix, he's a decent producer. Rashad. Let's see who else. Little John. Oh God. Neo for Rough Riders. Alchemist. So the LC is making noise right now. I'm not too keen of his new stuff lately, but he's kind of hit or miss for me. Vinny Idol, a dope producer, in-house producer for D Block. He made bangers for a lot of cats like in the D Block camp, like T Marlis and yeah, fucking dope. SC.Raw, Super Mario, dope producer, and Dame Grease. All right, those are the producers of the album. Now let's get into the meat and potatoes. I'll go through some of the track listing. All right. So track one, it starts with G Joint. That was produced by Who Banger. That features J Hood. Um, I like the how it started off. It kind of has like that '80s rock arena kind of feel to it. Pretty dope. Um, J Hood's verse was kind of meh to me. I didn't really care for it too much. But I like the line by Styles P where he said, "Young buck, don't fuck. I'm 2 guns up. Ride or die till the sun's up. Gangsta and the gentleman, dog. I got class. I'ma send a bunch of roses to your man in the morgue. I'll be down south bad in the whore. 10 in the morning. Dirty on 85 like Jay Barnes, Sean Paul. Beef with New York rappers. I'm killing them all. On my slick Rick shit, you can lick the balls. I've been cool cause these niggas is ass, but fuck that, might as well call me Pool cause I'm getting in the splash. And that Lamborghini lifting the stash, even getting the mask. Whew, fire. Dope way to start the album. That was dope. So that was track 1, G Joint. Track 2, Testify, featuring Talib Kweli. Um, that was a dope joint. Using the same sample as the Lucian joint by Tribe Called Quest. That's been used a lot, kind of like a recycled beat, if you ask me. Um, yeah, it's a political track. That's what I got from it. Kind of like a social awareness type of track. That could have been a single, especially for that time period. I like the line by Talib Kweli when he said, "Kids slipping the clip and aim for the fortune cause of fame, cause they ain't shit to gain. They stuck on whips and chains, so freedom slipped the brain. And psychologically, this shit's insane." Styles P when he said, "Damn, damn right, I make gangster music, but I still spit poetry like Langston Hughes did. Pressure of the ghetto might make you lose it. Grab AKs and go make the news, kid. Might lose control, but not my soul. Won't sell for the white man to buy me some white gold. Sell for the black man to buy me control." Fucking dope shit. And actually, that mixtape was actually on the Ghost That Sit by the Door. That was on that mixtape that came out that year in 2006. So that was track 2, Testify. Track 3, How We Live. That was produced by Havoc. That was featuring Jadakiss. Um, so Jadakiss didn't really have. I don't think he had a verse. I don't remember. I just think he did kind of like the ad libs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I wasn't too crazy about the beat. I think it was like one of Havoc's weakest beats. I felt like he could have gave him a banger. I was kind of disappointed with that. Same thing with the Y beat. I wasn't too crazy about that by Jadakiss. That was a Havoc beat too. But I do like the line by Styles P when he says, "I'm a journal and a criminal. Y'all facts salute. I'm in the streets while y'all sweet like a bag of fruit, and I stick to my Timberlands like a Maganoo. Your man looking like he want it, he can have it too. Trying to tell these motherfuckers they should do as it does, excuse me. I've been smoking haze just as green as Gazoo. Sorta like the city of gods. We be screaming out we gonna make it, but I pity the odds." Whoo, fire. Dope shit, man. You can tell right there, like his pen game has gotten a lot better since Against the Gentleman. And again, those mixtapes, like I said, I recommend you guys check those mixtapes out because he just puts his all in those mixtapes, man. Yeah, so that's track 3, How We Live, produced by Havoc of Mobb Deep, featuring Jadakiss. Track 4, Real Shit, featuring Gerald Levert, the late great Gerald Levert. May he rest in peace. Dope joint right there. That's another joint that could have been a single too. I like the line by Styles when he said, "In God we trust." It says, "In God and trace." It says on the dollar bill. So should I say hallelujah? Matter of fact, what's a dollar to you? I said a paper painted green, or the root of all evil, like your father schools you. They want to bill me quick. Niggas want to kill me quick. Gotta spend $1 for something nice at the dealership. Fucking dope. That's another joint that was on the Ghost That Sat at the Door mixtape as well. That dropped that same year. So that was track 4, Real Shit. Love that joint. Track 5, Who Want a Problem remix featuring Swiss Beats and the LOX. I wasn't too crazy about the beat, so I didn't really write anything of it. One of my least favorite songs of the album. Another track, track 6, Favorite Drug, which I believe was the second single. I think it was the last single of the album. The concept is nothing new. Where you got rappers that would compare a girl that they like into drugs. Like with him, his thing was weed. and he comparing his girl to strain of weed and that kind of thing. It uses the interpolation of Gypsy Woman by Crystal Waters. Like they replay the beat and that kind of thing. So I thought that was pretty cool. There's no video for it. I kind of wish there was a video for that. But then Ti actually made a song using that same sample. I think that same year. So that's probably why that didn't happen, and that kind of thing. So, but again, that was a decent track. Um, that yeah, again, wish there was a video for that, but that was the third and final single of the album. Track 7, Can You Believe It, featuring Akon. I hated this song then, and I hate it now. I'm just not a fan of Lil Jon in his production. I respect what he's done to the game, his contributions to the game. I'm just not a fan of his. He's talented. Don't get me wrong. He made his own sound, that whole A Town stomp sound, or whatever the case may be. I'm just not a fan of that shit. I'm just being real with you. Even to this day, I don't care. But it will get the clubs dancing and stuff. But it just never did anything for me. So I thought it was pretty weak. So that was track 7. Can you believe it? Track 8. Um, that was Kick It Like That featured Jagged Edge. Um, Again, another song I wasn't too crazy about. It sounded like something that would have been on Jagged Edge's album. You know what I mean? For me personally, that would have been fitted on their album. Not so much on the Styles P album. It felt like more like a featured Styles P track. You know what I mean? A Jagged Edge featuring Styles P. They would have they'd be nice enough to have the rapper do it first, and then they'll have their verses. It just felt like, for me, that's how it felt like. So I could have done with that without that song. So that was track 8, Kick It Like That. Track 9, I'm Black, featuring Marshall from Florida Tree. That's another dope joint right there. I fucking love that. I used to have the T-shirt I'm Black. I think I still have it somewhere. But yeah, dope joint right there. Love it. It's like a social awareness of black empowerment, but also about the social injustice that happened in the black community. But like I was saying before, I used to have the T-shirt. I'm Black. I got it at Jimmy Jazz back in the, I think VIM or Jimmy Jazz in on Jamaica Avenue. But back then I used to wear like the 3X with the all ultra baggy. Looking back, I kind of regret it wears big clothes, but that was the time at that time. You know what I mean? But anyways, getting back to the song, "I'm Black." Again, that was a single, but there was no video for it. I guess because of the controversy with the Y, they didn't want to do the same thing with "I'm Black," so that they never did a video for that. But that would have been dope. Definitely speaks for today's time. Love that joint. It's actually my favorite track for the album. That's how to put that out there. I like the line when he said, "I got a heart full of bravery. Do for my peoples that went through slavery. I'm Black, so I'm young in the sports. 90% chance I get hung in the court. I'm Black. Don't you be scared of me, Mister, because you don't really seem to be scared of my sister." Fire, dope shit right there. So that was track 9. I'm Black again. That easily could have been a video for it, but again, because of the controversy with the Y with Jadakiss, they didn't want to do the same thing with I'm Black. So I guess it makes sense, but being that's Interscope Records, they weren't trying to have that kind of backlash. So, um, track 10, Fire and Pain featuring Sizzler. That was produced by Super Mario and Vinny Idol. That was a decent track. Um, I wasn't too crazy about Sizzler's hook because it sounded like he started to punch in. It didn't really flow well with the beat. It was just like he was fighting against the beat. It just sounded off beat. That was my gripe with that song. But I did like the lines when Styles P said, "Moving in a hurry, thinking time is slow. When I pass the cemetery where my little brother is buried, all I can do is salute. Pound on my chest, God got his army, we all his recruits. But every other night I see demons do something wild. I don't know the reasons. Blame it on the air. So it says it's the seasons. Tell my niggas light the fuck up, cause I'm fiending." So that was pretty dope. The beat was pretty decent. It's not the best thing. Um, track 11. Track 11. Burn One Down featuring Flipside. That was a dope joint. That was produced by Super Mario and Vinny Idol. That was a dope joint right there. I like the line when he says, "Burn an MC like an arsonist. Tell him in the hardest I'm the hardest in the game." When he marked it, and 760 Li, it's carpeted. Five blunts rolled right where uh, five blunts rolled right up where the locket is. So that was pretty cool. So that was track 11. I mean, yeah, track 11, Burn One Down featuring Flipside. That was dope joint. And track 12, Leave a Message. That's a dope joint right there. Um, it's a social awareness track. Just pretty much like what I got from the theme of the song is like accountability, kind of yo, step your shit up, that kind of thing. Um, that song was also featured, I believe, it was on the Phantom mixtape. Yeah, it was on the Phantom mixtape. So it's a mixtape song. Um, that was produced by Dame Grease. That is another one that could have been a single too, in my opinion, especially for that time period. But I don't think it would. I don't think people would have been ready for that. Um, I think Styles P, he should do like a retro video, like how some of these artists do, like how Ghost Capadonna did for Winter Wars and Milk the Cow. Shout out to Doggy Diamonds, he did the videos for that. I think Styles P should do one for Leave a Message, so that would be dope. Um, and like I said, the song's about awareness, being appreciative of what he have. I like the line when he says, "A message to the poor, stressing the life. What we don't got now, we get in the second life. A message to the kids, stick to your school, cause if you fuck with the streets, that's jail or a bid. A message to the wild, you should calm down, cause everybody ratting you probably blow trial." Fucking dope shit right there. Now, my verdict of this album. Definitely not his best album. It had potential. I just felt like the album went through a lot of political issues. I felt like the album was a little bit rushed. Um, I There was so many songs that could have been on the album, like "Kill That Faggot" that was on the I think the Ghost and Machine album mixtape that came out 04. I believe that was supposed to be on the mixtape, but that never made it. Obviously, um, yeah, I just felt like the album was a little bit rushed. Um, the promotion of the album wasn't that very good because of the politics, the beef that he had with 50 that affected the promotion of the album and that kind of thing. And it's not really Styles P's fault, it's kind of like a between a rock and a hard place, and that was the thing with Styles P. Um, I do appreciate now, at that time I didn't appreciate it, but it was a more mature album for Styles P compared to Gangsta and the Gentleman and the mixtapes. But it's just I don't know. It's just some of the songs kind of drag the album. Like "Who Wants a Problem?" I could have done without that. Uh, Favorite Drug was cool. Can You Believe It? I just didn't like that. Kick It Like That. I could have done without that. Fire and Pain was cool, but again, Sizzler kind of fucked up the song. Um, but yeah, if he had other songs than that, I think the album would have fared better. Um, yeah, it's just not my favorite album from his. The next album he dropped, the Super Extraordinary Gangster Gentleman, whatever that shit is, I forgot the name of the album, but I do have that. That is a way better album than this album. But yeah, Time Is Money, Styles P. Let me know what you guys think. Were you guys of age at that time when you guys were anticipating the album like I was? Again, just like with Jadakiss's Kiss of Death, I was spoiled with the Champ Is Here mixtape. And it's the same concept with this. I was spoiled from the Ghost Machine, Ghost in the Shell, um, the ghost stories. I was spoiled by those mixtapes. And then when I got this, I was kind of like, that's it. That's what I got. So, that's just my thoughts. Did you guys feel that same disappointment like I did? Let me know what you guys think. All right, Styles P, Time Is Money, released in 2006. Peace.